Hello, today I wanted to talk about how to create a spring in Onshape. So to begin with, if you're trying to create a spring from an actual created spring, so you're trying to recreate it, I wanted to show you some of the numbers and math that I need in order to be able to do that. So what I have here is a spring from a pen. And as you can see, it's kind of broken up into sections. So we have the compressed section at the top, a little uncompressed, compressed, uncompressed, compressed. Oh, as my spring wanders off. So what I grabbed for that is I used my dial caliper and I measured the outside diameter of it. So that came out to 0.177. So I measured like this, okay, and was able to get that outside diameter. And then from there, I also measured the diameter of the wire itself. So I measured the thickness, and I'll try to show this here. So I put one here, and then close that in and grab that. And it's probably a little off because I'm just trying to show you for the video how I got it. There we go. That's a little better. But so that is how, those are some of the numbers I grabbed. And then what else I created, which will be important later, is I want to know the distance from one side to the other from the center point of the wire. So what I did is I subtracted out the diameter of the wire to be able to get my center to center distance across. Then from there, I grabbed some different heights. So as I said, I did took a couple liberties. So I counted the number of coils for each section, and it looks like in the compressed sections they were each 4, and then the 2 uncompressed in the center here are 8. So then from there, I measured the height of one of the compressed sections, and since it's the same number of coils, I was able to just take that number and apply it to the other 4 coil sections. Then from there, again, this is where I took a couple assumptions, a couple liberties, but I think I'm fairly safe in what I'm doing. I measured the uncompressed height of the spring, and this is important between uncompressed and compressed. Unfortunately, when you make it in Onshape, it's not going to be compressible. So you'll have to determine how you want your spring to look. Do you want it to be compressed? Do you want it to be uncompressed? I like to leave it uncompressed so I know the full size of the object. So I'm going to leave it as such. So when I measured the uncompressed height, it was 0.945. And again, these are all in inches. And then I just subtracted out the 0.066, or the 3 of them. And then the number I got, I just divided by 2. So that way I could put them in the 8 revolution sections. So now I have the heights for each section. So now I'll hop over to Onshape and I'll show you how I use these numbers to be able to create the spring. So to get started, I'm going to start with creating a part studio. And then from there, on the front plane, I'm going to create a new sketch. And I'm just going to start a regular line. And I'm going to make a vertical line and dimension that. So the height of this is going to be the height of the first 4 coil section. And if you remember, that number is 0.066. And you'll see it gets really, really short. We'll zoom in on that. And actually, I can hide my planes because we're not going to really need them all that much. So now we have it created. And actually, to help us, I'm going to make this a construction line. So to do that, I'm going to click on it. And then I'm going to click on either construction, or you can hit Q on your keyboard. And then I'm going to finish my sketch here. So now I'm going to create a helix. So I'm going to select helix, and I'm going to choose the axis option. Now, another way you can do this is you can create a cylinder or a cone and have it go around that object and then just hide that later. So that option's also there for you if you'd like, but for now we're going to stick with not creating an extra part. We're just going to do an axis. So I'm going to select axis, and I'm going to select my line. And you should see it created a helix around my line, but we're going to add some dimensions and some numbers to it. So for input type, we're going to stick with turns, and it already has target revolutions is 4, and we talked about that first section is 4 revolutions, but we still need to add a radius and a height. So for my radius, I'm going to grab the number I got for center to center and divide it by 2. So for that, I had 0.161 divided by 2. And now it's going to make it significantly smaller. And then from there, we're going to add a height. So our height for that section was 0.066. So now we've got more of a compressed spring. So from there, we're okay. So I'm going to go ahead and finish my helix. And you'll notice it creates a new section down here called curves, which is fine. And we're actually going to add more to that. So what I'm going to do my next section is I'm going to start another sketch on the front plane. And we'll look at it directly from the front here. And I'm going to make another vertical line. And we're going to line it up. Horizontally, I'm lining it up at the end of this helix, and then vertically with the origin point, because we use that as the center of our line to begin with. And then I'm going to dictate the height of this line again, just like I did before. And we're going to make that 0.3735. And again, I'm going to make it a construction line. So if I didn't say before, the great thing about construction lines is Onshape won't count them as regular lines. So sometimes that helps with things not getting in the way of your features. So when you're doing certain features, sometimes it's nice to be able to keep them out of the way. That's where construction lines can be really great. So I'm going to go ahead and finish my sketch. And then I'm going to do another helix. Same deal. I'm going to grab axis. I'm going to select the middle here. And I'm going to put a couple of the same numbers in. Some are going to change, some will be the same. So my radius will still be the same because the spring stays the same thickness throughout. So it's going to be 0.161 divided by 2, which shrinks it in and makes it a little more even. Okay, and then number of revolutions is going to be 8. And then our height is going to be the height of the line, okay, which I can dictate by choosing the end point. So if you wanted to add a cone shape, that option's there. I just wanted to show you that. So if you ever need to, if your spring tends to taper in, that option's there, but I just wanted to show that to you. But I'll go back to normal height. So normal height will be the length of our line, so 0.3735. And so when it created the helix, it automatically lined it right up with the other helix. But if you run into an issue where that doesn't work, if you go up to start angle and you choose start point, you can click on the end of the other helix, and as long as that is parallel or coplanar, I think is the technical term, with the top of your axis, it'll connect to it. If it's not, things will turn red and it won't connect correctly. That's why it was important to create that second axis instead of just doing one long line. So I'm going to go ahead and finish that. Okay, and I can repeat that process if I'd like to create the rest of the spring. But I'm going to show you possibly a shortcut that may help you if you have repeated sections like I do. So I'm going to choose linear pattern, and I'm going to select my two sections here. And then for direction, I'm going to bring back one of my axes. Doesn't matter which one, I'm just going to select it. And then you'll notice it repeats it. Now it puts it way far down because we have it set to 1 inch. What I'm going to set it to is the height of the two sections. So 0.066 plus 0.3735. And if I did my math correctly, you'll notice it syncs right up with the other helix. So I'm going to go ahead and finish that. And then I'm actually going to repeat that linear pattern to get that last coil. So I'm going to pattern this one. My direction is going to be this axis again. You'll notice it patterned it down here again. And we're going to do the same thing. So 0.3735 plus 0.066. And it connects it right to it. So now we have most of the work done. And I'm going to go ahead and hide my axis again. But now we have to add our diameter of wire. So to do that, I'm going to do a new sketch on the front. Now, if your spring is offset from the plane, you can create a plane and create a plane point and put it on the end of this. But I have this aligned with my front, so I'm just going to save myself some work and do a new sketch on the front. And I'm just going to put a point on the end of my helix. And I'm going to look at it from the back side. And I'm going to draw a circle. And we'll dimension that circle to be the diameter of the wire, which was 0.016. Finish my sketch, and now I can do a sweep. So I'm going to choose sweep and select my profile. And then my sweep path is going to be all these helixes. So I'm just going to start moving down. And it should create my spring. So now I have a spring that looks pretty accurate to the one that I showed you before. Probably the only slight inaccuracy is it does create edges here. And when you create your drawing sheet, you can actually hide these edges. So if you prefer to do that, you can, but it will create those edges. It may hide them if I do shaded without edges. There we go. So now it looks a little more seamless. Okay? So I hope you found that helpful, and hopefully you're able to create your springs as needed. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful day.